Majority Leader for Kimani Ichungwah.
Thank you.
Kimani Ichungwah will speak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Ichungwah will speak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me first welcome members back to the House after the long recess and join you in thanking members even for showing up during the special sitting last month. Honorable Speaker, I also take cognizance of the issues before you and before the House. Let me start on a light note, Honorable Speaker, by saying to my brother, Honorable Junet, he said that this seat seems to be warm. And this seat is a seat like any other in this House. I know in a presidential system, Honorable Speaker, any member can sit anywhere. And if the Honorable Junet feels this seat is warmer than his, we must make sure that we warm Junet's seat wherever he sits so that he feels the warmth of the House. Honorable Speaker, the matter before us is a straightforward matter. And I want to agree with many of the things that have been said, including what the Honorable Karoli Omondi has just said, that the import of this court ruling has nothing to do with past decisions of this House over the last 2 years. Because decisions of the House, whether it is legislation, whether it is approvals that we make, are not made by a party. Neither are they made as business owned by the leader of the majority.
You can't just dash across the floor like that. Order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Bensouda is not used to sitting on this side of the House, so we may forgive her.
It is very hot this
Honorable Speaker, I was saying that decisions of the House are decisions of Parliament. That is why when we move a bill, a government bill, moved by the leader of majority, when it is approved by the House and enacted as law, it becomes an act of Parliament, not an act of the leader of majority or an act of the government of Kenya. It becomes an act of Parliament. And therefore, all previous decisions made by this House have been decisions of the House, and the House subsists as it were on the 9th of August 2022, as it is today, Honorable Speaker, with the unfortunate loss of one or two of our members who have lost, one through a by-election and one by passing on. Honorable Speaker, we also have a very good constitution, Honorable Speaker. And as much as I respect the decision of the court, I completely disagree with the court in many aspects, and some of which have been touched on. I do not want to dwell on to them, Honorable Speaker. But the question that we need to ask you, Honorable Speaker, and ask ourselves, what is it out of the 34 prayers? Honorable Speaker, there is a lot of loud consultations behind me.
Order, members.
I was saying, Honorable Speaker, the gentleman who went to court with a total of 34 prayers before the court. Amongst those prayers was a declaration by the court that the Azimio coalition be declared as a majority party, and the leader of the Azimio coalition in Parliament be declared as the majority leader in the House. The court declined to give that declaration or that ruling. The only ruling out of the 34, Honorable Speaker, that was given by the court was to annul your ruling of October 2022. And the import of that annulment, Honorable Speaker, when they said that they found it to be unconstitutional, null and void, the import of that is we go back to the status quo as at 9th of August 2022.
It's called status quo ante.
Status quo ante, Honorable Speaker. You know, I'm only an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, Honorable Speaker. But at least, I also know, Honorable Speaker, because I studied in commercial law, in my accounting studies, the doctrine of ultra vires, where anything that is ultra vires the Constitution, any statute,
give him a minute.
Any statute, Honorable Speaker, or any act of Parliament that is inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency. And I was saying we have a beautiful constitution because this constitution gives powers, or rather powers to enjoy rights, including the right of association, which is the most important thing in our constitution. Chapter 4 is what, chapter 4 for constitution on the Bill of Rights is what has built our constitution as amongst the most progressive constitutions in the world. Therefore, the members, the 14 members in question, Honorable Speaker, from UDM, PA, MDDG, MCCP, enjoy certain rights that not an act of parliament can take away from them, including the right to associate. No court, no law can tell the member for Ugenya, MDDG, that he must remain in Azimio. There is no court, no act of parliament, including the Political Parties and the Political Parties Coalition Act that was acrimoniously passed in this house at the tail end of the last parliament, can force the 8 members of UDM to associate with Azimio. That cannot happen, Honorable Speaker, and that is why, to a large extent, I disagree with the court, because those 14 members enjoy certain inalienable rights to enjoy their rights of association, to associate with the political coalition they desired. And they told us, Honorable Speaker, letters were tabled, including letters, Honorable Speaker, that I have seen from the Registrar of Political Parties, ascertaining that MDDG, UDM, PA, Maendeleo Chap have left Azimio. The leader of Jubilee Party in this house, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Sabina Chege, has today enjoys a position as a whip of an independent parliamentary political party called Jubilee. On that basis, Honorable Speaker, Jubilee then cannot and shall not and shall never be counted as part of Azimio. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, we are inviting you to make a decision on the status quo ante. On status quo ante, Honorable Speaker, it is up to you as a Speaker to now make a fresh ruling, since you are ruling.
Yes, Junet.
Mr. Speaker, it is not my intention to interrupt.
You have already done so.
Yeah, my colleague, Mr. Speaker, yes. The minority leader. Mr. Speaker, is it correct, Mr. Speaker, for the minority leader to mislead the House that those parties who are members of Azimio cannot be forced to stay in Azimio, Mr. Speaker? To that extent, Mr. Speaker, there is a procedure of getting out of Azimio, Mr. Speaker. They have not followed the procedure, Mr. Speaker, and I can tell you I'm the Secretary General of Azimio, Mr. Speaker. They only wrote letters to me. They never followed the procedure, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I can see David Ochieng wants to respond to me. That's one member party, Mr. Speaker. We're going to discuss in this, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Junet. Don't disparage your colleagues. You are better than that. Kimani Ichungwah, you have 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, so that I do not waste a lot of time, I was saying that what you are being called upon to determine from the status quo ante is as we speak now, because your decision or your ruling of October has been annulled by the court. Respect to that court ruling is paramount, and you must respect it. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, myself, in respect of that court ruling, today, I have appeared here and decided to sit with my brother, Honorable Junet, wherever I can sit, Honorable Speaker, because that ruling being annulled now calls on you to now look at the facts as they are today and numbers as they are. Honorable Speaker, you know, last week we got letters from the clerk's office, myself and the Honorable Junet Mohammed, to submit names for the House Business Committee. And it is important to note, Honorable Speaker, that both of us have seen submitted names to the House Business Committee, names which appear on the order paper today, both from the minority side and from the majority side, Honorable Speaker. And when we did that, Honorable Speaker, we were cognizant because we did the letters, some as late as yesterday, of the court ruling. I therefore want to ask you, Honorable Speaker, as you make your decision on this matter, to look at all the facts as they are. The 14 contentious slots in Azimio, and I agree with Honorable Junet, there was a process of getting out of Azimio. That process, has it been followed? Are there letters? Because, Honorable Speaker, I have seen letters that confirm that UDM, MCCCP, PA, MDDG have left Azimio. The Honorable Sabina Chege, Honorable Speaker, I am speaking about the letters, Honorable Speaker, that I have, which I will table before the House, Honorable Speaker, because I have copies in the office from the Registrar of Political Parties. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to beg of you that as you make that decision, look at those facts. Also, Honorable Speaker, look at the facts that today, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Osoro did submit a letter to you on my nomination and election as a leader of majority in September of 2022, signed and assented to by over 171 members of this House. The Honorable Junet Mohammed, this late last year, after the Honorable Pio left, did submit the whip.
Yes, wind up.
The Honorable Junet Mohammed, in his nomination as the leader of minority, did submit a letter nominating him upon election by Azimio coalition as the minority leader, signed by a paltry 80 members of the Azimio coalition. Actually less than even what is provided for in our own standing orders, Honorable Speaker. Less than what is provided for in our standing orders. Because our standing orders have a certain threshold as to who and how many members should have elected you as a minority leader, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, it is my humble submission that you have facts on your table. Make a ruling when the time comes.
Mwengi Mutuse. Pardon?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, David Ocheng, what is the point of order?
I was mentioned advisory by the Honorable Junet.
I told him he was out of order, so you are protected.
Mr. Speaker, I just need to mention something that Mr. Junet claims to be the Secretary General of Azimio. Could you tell this House today where the Azimio offices are in this country?
Mwengi Mutuse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and if you may protect me that I may be heard in silence.
Order, members. Order.
Mr. Speaker, we are debating a very important